Okay, glad to know you're still there as we continue with the breakfast show this beautiful Monday morning, the 29th day in the month of June 2026. Yes, 18 to 19 days into the FIFA 2026 World Cup, 104 matches, total games to be played, and as we speak, the round of 32 started yesterday. Now, 9 African teams made it through. Yes, 9. 90% of African teams, which is the best so far when it comes to the World Cup this year, except for the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia, who are already on their way home. Okay, we have updates coming from the World Cup as we tend to review some of the sporting activities from the weekend. I am Ijoma Victor, and thanks for joining us this beautiful Monday morning. Now, we begin with athletics this morning in Paris. Despite the heat waves, Nigerian sprint hurdler Tobi Amusun continued her impressive forms in the 2026 season, securing victory in the women's 100 meters hurdles at the Paris Diamond League on Sunday with a time of 12.28 seconds. Now, this marks the third time this year that Amusun has clocked the swift 12.28 seconds mark, underlining her consistency and dominance in the event. Now, she pulled away from a strong field to finish comfortably ahead of her competitors. American Grace Stark, who claimed second place with a time of 12.38 seconds, while fellow Americans Alicia Johnson took third with a time of 12.39 seconds. Amusun's latest win adds to her growing collections of strong performance in the 2026 Diamond League circuit, further cementing her status as one of the world's top hurdler. And to football, former Super Eagles head coach Salisu Yusuf has ended his contract with Beninese Republic side Carton Sport after a successful spell with the club, paving the way for a return to the Nigerian Premier Football League (NPFL). Now, Yusuf, who guided Nigeria to a silver medal at the 2018 African Cup of Nations Championship (CHAN), leaves the Beninese outfit after an impressive debut campaign in the Championnat National de Benin under the leadership. Now, Cotton Sport finished second in the league to secure a place in next season's CAF Confederation Cup. Now, the achievement marks the best league finisher in the club's history and earned them their first ever qualifications for a CAF continental competition. Now, the experienced tactician is now expected to make a return to the NPFL, with several clubs reportedly monitoring his availability ahead of the 2026-2027 season. Now, his next destination is yet to be officially confirmed. I will head straight to the World Cup, where the Confederation of African Football (CAF) has emerged as one of the biggest success story of the FIFA World Cup 2026 after 9 of its 10 representatives secured places in the round of 32. With a remarkable 90% qualification rate, Africa recorded the highest knockout qualification percentage amongst all 6 continental confederations, underlining the continent's growing strength in global stage. Let's tell you that the Atlas Lions of Morocco, Bafana Bafana of South Africa, Taranga Lions of Senegal, the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire, the Pharaohs of Egypt, the Blue Sharks of Cape Verde, the Black Stars of Ghana, the Phoenix of Algeria, and the Leopards of DR Congo are part of the teams in the knockout stage. Now, for South Africa Comimol, it follows with 6 teams, 83% advancing, while Europe UEFA have about 13 teams, 16 representatives, making a total of 81% that have progressed to the knockout round. Now, host Confederation CONCACAF managed to send only 3 of its 6 teams, 50% in the last 32, despite the tournament being staged across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Now, for Asia, they endured a difficult campaign with just 2 of its 9 teams, 22%, reaching the knockout phase, while Oceania FC, that's Oceania OFC, failed to produce a round of 32 qualifiers from its lone representative. Now, the impressive performance by African nations mark another milestone, yes, for the continent at the expanded 48 teams. FIFA World Cup reinforcing the growing competitiveness of CAF teams on football's biggest stage as they now aim to make a deep run in the knockout round. Now, the 9 African countries that have qualified, like I said earlier, we have Morocco, we have South Africa, we have Cote d'Ivoire, Cape Verde, Egypt, Ghana, Senegal, DR Congo, and Algeria. Meanwhile, Stephen Eustaquio struck a dramatic stoppage-time winner as a co-host Canada defeated Bafana Bafana of South Africa 1-0 to become the first team to secure a place in the FIFA World Cup round of 16, with match seemingly destined for extra time. Now, Eustaquio finally broke South Africa's resilient defense in the second minute of added time. The midfielder expertly controlled the ball inside the penalty area before firing a composed half volley into the far corner, leaving goalkeeper Ronwen Williams with no chances of actually getting that one. South Africa produced a determined defensive display for much of the contest, frustrating the host despite sustained Canada's pressure. Aubrey Modiba made a crucial goal line clearance to deny Moise Mobito's powerful header, while Mbensekeli Mbonkazi delivered a superb last-ditch challenge to prevent Jonathan David from converting into the open net. Canada also believed that they should have been awarded a first-half penalty after Richie Leia went down under the challenge from Koliso Mudau inside the box. However, following a VAR review, the referee upheld the original result after replay showed Mudau had made slight contact with the ball before bringing down the Canadian defender. Now, the decision sparked an animated reaction from Canada's head coach Jesse Marsh, who had to be restrained by his own players as they confronted the match officials before halftime. Now, Marsh's emotion turned to jubilation after the final whistle as he praised his players for the perseverance and historic achievement. Now, according to him, he said, and I quote, "You guys showed your character. You guys are Canadian heroes now," Marsh told his squad. Now, Canadian heroes for the future children of this country. Now, the Canadian coach later joined supporters in celebrating a memorable victory, with his side now set to face either Morocco or Netherlands in the round of 16 in Houston on July 4, which happens to be the anniversary of the USA. But meanwhile, let's take the reactions in Toronto and in Vancouver as fans continued cheering their team and celebrating all over the country.
Extra time, scoring. Yo, we knew we had it. It took a while. But as soon as Davies came in, it was over. It was all over. Amazing.
So good. So good. Energy is unmatched.
It's history, right? Like, Canada definitely just made history going to the round of 16 in the World Cup. I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime, honestly. But yeah, Canadian soccer is like getting a lot better, which is very warms my heart.
Oh, it was amazing. I was ecstatic the entire time. The vibe was great. And I was especially happy when they scored. Everyone was yelling. It was just a great time overall.
Our win was everything to us tonight. We had an amazing time. I can't wait for the next match.
We're optimistic. We're optimistic.
Yeah, I thought we were favored, but it was a tough game, the whole game. So to get the result in the end, huge! We moving on!
I mean, I'm from Canada as well, so I'll be cheering for them. So yeah, hey, happy regardless. Respect to South Africa. They had a good game.
Okay, the celebration definitely will still continue, but Canada will have to wait to see their next opponent in Houston. Will it be the Atlas Lions of Morocco, or will it be the Orange team from Netherlands? Meanwhile, South Africa's head coach Hugo Broos has expressed disappointment after their 1-0 round of 32 loss to Canada at the FIFA 2026 World Cup. Now, with both sides making their first appearance in the knockout phase, the game appeared to be heading for extra time before Eustaquio broke South Africa's heart with a clinical hit from just outside the area. Now, reacting after the game, Broos admitted that Bafana Bafana lacked the power, the speed, and one-on-one quality of modern football, but commended the historic campaign. Now, despite the heartbreaking stoppage-time defeat, Broos reflected highly on the tournament, stating fans could be satisfied that South Africa made it to the World Cup knockout round for the first time in 24 years. Now, first of all, it's clear, according to Broos, to make decisions when you are disappointed. On the other side, I think we lost the game because there was a lack of power and speed in our team. Now, we lost a lot of duels, man against man, one-on-one, and the speed in our teams. Not only running speed, but also the speed of execution. Football is more than techniques. It's something requires power and speed, and then you don't have it in your team and you play against a team that has it, then it is an issue. That was a big quality of the team. Now, when a coach starts sounding this way, I will be wondering, is it that you didn't take your time to select your players before heading into the game? Did you take your time to pick your players, do your research after the qualifications was over since last year? And now you say power, you say speed. Now let's look at the statistics. Now, the second half statistics actually will go to Bafana Bafana. 61 ball possession against 39 for the Canadian side. That's to tell you how South Africa dominated the game according to statistics. This is the second half. Now, for the first half, you also give it to Bafana Bafana. They had 55 ball possession against 45. But when it comes to the shot on goals, you give it to the Canadians. So they kept dominating. Then where is Hugo Broos talking about speed and power? Now, overall, looking at the overall after 90 minutes, ball possession to South Africa is 58 to Canada, so to South Africa, and 42 to the Canadians. And when it comes to shots on target, 12 to the Canadians and just 4 to South Africa. Big chances also will go to Canada. Corner kick will also go to Canada, 4-1 in favor of the Canadians. And Hugo Broos talked about speed. So where is the domination coming from? That's also another thing we need to ask. It is Match Day Live. Yes, actions will continue later today. Let's see if we can get those fixtures. It will be Brazil up against Japan. Yes, South Africa and Canada already done and dusted. Then Brazil will take on Japan later this evening. As you see, Germany will be up against Paraguay. So these are the games that we go down later. South Africa and Canada done and dusted. South Africa out. Canada will be heading straight to Houston. Now, Brazil will take on Japan, and let's see how Carlo Ancelotti will do with his team, and hopefully, maybe Neymar Jr. will be starting for the Brazilians. Let's also tell you that the German machine will be up against Paraguay. So these are the games that we go down later today. Now, the early hours of tomorrow morning, we see Netherlands take on one of Africa's best team at the tournament, talking about the Atlas Lions of Morocco. Then also, tomorrow evening, that's about 6 p.m., the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire will be up against Norway. So all to play for between this evening and the early hours of tomorrow. Now, all eyes will be on Morocco, one of Africa's best team at the tournament. Senegal also made it. Algeria also made it. Cape Verde also made it. But we want to call them Cabo Verde. So it is all to play for with these games that we go down later this evening and the early hours of tomorrow. Whether you like it or not, the World Cup is becoming interesting. And let's also tell you that the boys are gradually being separated from the men. And even amongst the men, they will separate men from men. And this is where we put a stop to the show this beautiful Monday morning, the starter of the week. Join me again, same time, 5 p.m. later this evening as we analyze the South African games with our guests, both physical and online, will be available. And we'll look at the South African team, and also we'll look at the possibility of African team really going far. If 90% of the African team can make it to the knockout stage, should we put another 90% in the round of 16? Definitely 90 minutes will decide. Do you have yourself a beautiful day ahead? Good morning.